James 2 verse 17, NIV, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. What does it mean when we say we have faith? Sometimes, we say, I have faith in God, and I believe that God will get me through it. It says we put our trust in God and believe God will fulfill what He has promised. The most important thing here is faith is followed by action, following the instruction of the Word of God even though it does not seem possible. Faith is obeying what God asks us to do despite the nonsense situation. The supernatural thing happens when we walk in faith with action. Let's look at the event of the liberation of the Israelites from Egypt under the leadership of Moses. When the Israelites were in the tight corner of the situation, the Red Sea at the front and the Egyptian army at the back, they were terrified and cried out to the Lord. They blamed and complained about Moses for leading us there. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground." The miracles and supernatural things happened when Moses obeyed what God said and followed the instruction. After the Israelites were delivered from the Egyptians, they needed to cross the Jordan River in order to get into the Promised Land. Joshua 3 is about the story of what the Israelites were told to do under the leadership of Joshua. Joshua 3 verses 14 to 17, so when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Now the Jordan is at flood stage, all during harvest. Yet as soon as the priests who carried the ark reached Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water from upstream stopped flowing. It piled up in a heap a great distance away, at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan, while the water flowing down to the Sea of the Arabah, that is, the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan and stood on dry ground, while all of Israel passed by until the whole nation had completed the crossing on dry ground. In this miracle, the priests who carried the ark needed to touch the water's edge with their feet. At that time, the Jordan was at flood stage, but the priests reached it, and the water from upstream stopped flowing. These people practice faith with action. The priests obeyed God, and they did it with action. The next miracle we can meditate on is the Israelites marching around the wall of Jericho. In Joshua 6 verses 1 to 5, then the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse, and the army will go up, everyone straight in. To break down the wall of Jericho, who will ever think a loud shout can make it happen?" However, the Lord did it by giving command to Joshua and the Israelites to march around the city for 7 days. On the last day, they circled the city 7 times. The 7th time around, when the priest sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, "Shout. For the Lord has given you the city," and the wall collapsed, so everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. Sometimes, what God asks us to do is nonsense in our own eyes and in front of others. If we have faith and do it with action, the miracle happens. John 4 verses 46 to 54 is about Jesus healing an official's son. After Jesus did the miracle of turning the water into wine in Cana, he went to Capernaum. The official in Capernaum whose son was ill, and he went to Jesus to come and heal his son. But Jesus only said, "Go, your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and went on his way. The official wanted Jesus to come down to his home and heal his son. However, Jesus only gave the word to heal his son. The official had a strong faith and went on his way. Yes, the miracle followed after it. His son was healed by the time Jesus spoke the word. To sum up, when we believe God and everything He has said in His world, we need to add our action, which comes out of faith. We have already seen many witnesses in the Bible about how people walk in faith, and God brings them miracles. Let's put our beliefs into action and walk in faith. July 9, 2023, the Sunday message of YCM Church preached by Pastor Sayong Chiu, summarized by Starry Tun.